Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottama devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudirayet nashtaprayesha badresho nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtike. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 3, The Birth of Lord Krishna, text number 29. Janma te mayi asau papo. Janmate mayi asau papo ma vidyan madhusudana. Ma vidyan madhusudana samudvije bhavan heto samudvije bhavadheto kamsad aham adhira Hihi kamsadaham adhiradhi janmate mayasau papo ma vidyan madhusudana samudvije bhavadheto kamsadaham adhiradhi. Janmate mayasau papo ma vidyan madhusudana samudvija bhavadheto kamsadaham adhiradhi. Janmate mayasau papo ma vidyan madhusudana samudvije bhavadheto tamsadaham adhiradhi. Janmate mayasau papo ma vidyan madhusudana samudvije bhavadheto kamsadaham adhiradhi. Janma, the birth, te, of your lordship, mayi, in my womb, asa, that kamsa, papaha, extremely sinful, ma vidyat, may be unable to understand, Madhusudana, O Madhusudana, Samudvije, I am full of anxiety, Bhavat Heto, because of your appearance, Kamsat, because of Kamsa, with whom I have had such bad experience. Aham, I, adhi, have become more and more anxious. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation. O Madhusudana, because of your appearance, I am becoming more and more anxious in fear of Kamsa. Therefore, please arrange for that sinful Kamsa to be unable to understand that you have taken birth from my womb. Please repeat this translation. O Madhusudana, because of your appearance, I am becoming more and more anxious in fear of Kamsa. Therefore, please arrange for that sinful Kamsa to be unable to understand that you have taken birth from my womb. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Devaki addressed the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Madhusudana. She was aware that the Lord had killed many demons like Madhu, who were hundreds and thousands of times more powerful than Kamsa. Yet, because of affection for the transcendental child, she believed that Kamsa could kill him. Instead of thinking of the unlimited power of the Lord, she thought of the Lord with affection, and therefore she requested the transcendental child to disappear. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutta Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namini. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasa Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. When atheists or materialists hear such statements, Devaki telling the Supreme Lord who was born as their son, I'm afraid that Kamsa may kill you, they'll all laugh. You say he is the Supreme Lord. And you also say his own devotee doesn't have faith that he can protect himself, he cannot be killed, and he'll protect his devotees also. So what is this tamasha going on? You're all sentimental people, foolish people, irrational, illogical. So, it is very difficult to understand the personality of Krishna. Why should Krishna, who is the supreme controller ultimately of everyone and everything, both in the spiritual world and the material world, why should he come as the child of Devaki with so much of anxiety for Devaki and Vasudeva and all the devotees? And even if there is anxiety on the part of the devotee, he should relieve their anxiety because he is their Lord and he is meant for that. He is always meant for that. And they are always devotees. Not that sometimes they are devotees, sometimes they are not devotees. No. So why does he do like this? So the activities, the behavior, the personality, the qualities, the paraphernalia of the Supreme Lord are all completely mystical. They're completely mystical. One should never think of Krishna at any time as an ordinary person. He is completely extraordinary. You cannot estimate, even by your wildest imagination, what he is going to do, what is his behavior, what is his form, what are his qualities, how will he react, how will he act, how will he do something. You can never figure out. So the very first proposition is Avang Manasa Gochara. The Supreme Lord can never be understood by use of our intelligence, our mind, our scholarship, our sensual power, our reasoning, our logic. No, you cannot understand him. And therefore the atheist will say, I don't want to bother with such a person. Why should I bother? Why should I break my head? I'm not foolish like you. I don't care. I don't bother. Now we have a solid reason why we still try to understand who is Krishna. Why are we even attempting to understand or know Krishna, hear about him, or approach him? Because fundamentally, our position, our constitutional position is we belong to him. And it is we who are in a very, very awkward, clumsy, stupid situation. And we have put ourselves in such a situation. Krishna is not responsible for our present condition. Krishna has no demands from us. Krishna has no intention to give us anxiety, to put us into some difficulty. Neither Krishna wants us to suffer or be anxious or be in confusion. So this fundamental fact, if somebody does not understand, then they will never understand Krishna. They'll forever remain in ignorance about Krishna. And that's the condition of all the materialists, all the atheists, including the transcendentalists called Mayavadis. They will never understand Krishna. They'll never understand Krishna. And they speak so much nonsense. They write volumes of books denying Krishna's personality, denying Krishna's form, denying Krishna's... like Prabhupada sometimes says in a lighter vein, sometimes Mayavadis also offer prayers to Krishna. Not to Krishna, they offer to the absolute truth. And then say, oh hey, oh hey. They don't want to address by any specific name or position or anything. Oh hey. Oh, hey, you are blind. They don't say you are blind. They say you have no eyes. If you tell a person you have no eyes, who has got beautiful eyes, wonderful eyes, very powerful eyes, perfect eyes, if you tell him you have no eyes, isn't it an insult to him? It's totally an insult. It's like indirectly telling you are blind. So what kind of prayer is this? And supposed to be a prayer. Supposed to be glorification. So what kind of glorification is this? Nonsense. But then the Upanishads are telling, Apanipadau javano grihita. Upanishads are telling accurately, perfectly, it is your misunderstanding of the Upanishads. The Upanishads describe the absolute truth as without hands. But then, when Apanipadau, without hands and legs, absolute truth is without hands and legs, Apanipadau. But immediately there is a clarification. What does it mean? Javano grihita. That the Mayavadis miss out. Completely miss out. It's called Ardha Kukuti Nyaya. What is Ardha Kukuti Nyaya? There was once a farmer who had a hen that laid golden eggs. You will say, where can there be a hen that will lay golden eggs? Unless it is a robot which produces egg in the shape of, gold in the shape of egg. When you put some gold into it, and it will process that and produce eggs. That we can accept. But a hen producing golden eggs, so take it like an example. Don't worry whether it is real or... It is to explain this Ardha Kukti Nyaya, this example is given. By the way, what is inconceivable for us or impossible for us on this earth planet as human beings, we should not think it is impossible for others in higher planets. It's beyond our conception. What is the position of human beings, human-like beings in the heavenly planets? Much less, we cannot conceive what are the facilities, what are the arrangements, wonderful arrangements for residents of Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapoloka, Satyaloka, and beyond Satyaloka, Vaikuntha. It's totally inconceivable for us. So anyway, so there was a farmer who had a hen which laid golden eggs, and he was very happy, extremely happy. But such a stingy fellow, he's thinking, this hen is laying golden eggs. Of course, eggs are very, very valuable for me. But it is laying eggs with its back portion. Whereas the front portion, it keeps on eating. And I have to keep feeding it. Okay. He doesn't consider what is the cost of feeding it compared to the cost of the golden egg. The value of the golden egg. It is no comparison at all, the cost of feeding it. But this stingy fellow is calculating. If I can avoid feeding it, then neither the headache of feeding, nor I have to spend money on the feed, like these capitalists, these materialists. If they are making some huge profit in some business or industry, they go on doing cost cutting, cost cutting, cost cutting, cost cutting. So like that, this farmer is a similar person, like the modern day industrialists and capitalists. So, cost cutting. So, let me cut off the front portion of the hen. And then, that is no use to me. After all, it is laying eggs from the hind portion, the back portion. So, anyone can understand it is a completely foolish and stupid proposition. The moment he cuts off any portion of the hen will not survive. Finished. Death of the hen. No more golden eggs. So similarly, the Mayavadis, they study the scriptures. This verse, Apanipadau Javano Grihita. They take only the half the verse. They consider only half the verse. They accept that. Apanipadau. And they completely discard, ignore, neglect Javano Grihita. Exactly like the farmer only wants the hind portion of the hen. He doesn't want the front portion. The Mayavadis, because they have a similar idea. The first half of this verse supports their impersonal theory. God has no form, which means God has no hands, God has no legs. God is formless. And the second portion doesn't exactly fit their theory. Either they will ignore that, not talk about it, or they will conveniently interpret some meaning to fit their philosophy. So, what does Javano Grihita mean? Apanipada means he doesn't have hands, he doesn't have legs. I mean, he means God, absolute truth. They don't even consider God as a person. Absolute truth as a person. Formless, impersonal. Okay. No hands, no legs. Javano Grihita means even though he doesn't have hands or legs like we do, he still accepts whatever we offer to him. Whatever is offered to him, he accepts with his hands. He didn't say with his hands. He accepts whatever we offer to him. So how can a crippled person who doesn't have hands accept something that you give him? So therefore, the understanding is, the explanation is, the Upanishads are presenting the absolute truth as person without material hands, but has transcendental hands with which he accepts anything and everything that we offer him. This is the understanding. This is the explanation. So that transcendental hands with which he accepts, oh, he is formless. There is nothing like transcendental hands in their vocabulary, in their understanding, foolish as they are. They bring down God to their level. Because we don't have, actually we have spiritual hands. Each of us, we have spirit soul, we have spiritual eyes, we have spiritual hands. And this hand is working. We are able to hold something with this hand because of our spiritual hand. This hand is useless for holding anything. Because this hand is actually a dead hand. Always. It appears to be living at the present time. Because inside this hand, there is a spiritual hand. Because inside this hand, there is a spiritual hand. So, any case, if the Upanishads say God has no hands, absolute truth has no hands, it means he has no material hands like we have. And when it says Javano Grihita, he accepts whatever is offered to him, he accepts with his spiritual hands. He has hands which are completely spiritual, which are not material. That's a description, that's an understanding. So the Mayavadis, they don't receive this knowledge from the proper source. They don't hear what is the correct explanation of the Upanishads or of the original Vedas or of the scriptures from a proper source, from an authorized person. They speculate, or they accept another speculator as their leader, and conveniently they say, oh, we are followers of Shankaracharya. We are followers of Shankaracharya. But again, that also, they are not really followers of Shankaracharya. Because even though Shankaracharya says God has no form, he means there that God has no material form. Just like the Upanishads declare God has no form, which means that God has no material form. Why? Because he accepts and he glorifies God as God, a spiritual form. There are so many compositions in Shankaracharya in which he has glorified God. Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum. What is that? In Gita, Dhyana Shloka. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum. He is the giver of transcendental happiness to Devaki. Devaki Paramanandam. Vasudeva Sutam Devam. He is the Supreme Lord who has appeared as the son of Vasudeva. Vasudeva Sutam. Kamsa Chanura Mardanam. He is the killer, annihilator, destroyer of big demons, of miscreant demons like Kamsa and Chanura. Mardanam. Shankaracharya accepts. He doesn't say this is all story. And because of that, he says he is the Jagat Guru. And therefore, his words, which is spoken in the form of Bhagavad Gita, are very important. He accepts Bhagavad Gita. He has written a commentary on the Bhagavad Gita. And these modern day Mayavadis, they say, oh, that Bhagavad Gita is, we don't accept Shruti. We only accept Shruti. Bhagavad Gita is Smriti. We don't accept Smriti. Your own Acharya is accepting Bhagavad Gita. For that they have no answer actually. They have no answer. And when we quote, Shankaracharya has written one, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. He is declaring those who are interested in God or the absolute truth, in knowing the absolute truth. But they don't render devotional service to the Supreme Lord. Them he calls as Mudhamate, most utterly foolish people, misled, completely misled. And their destination is, they're going to rot in this material existence forever, or till they accept to do devotional service to Govinda, Krishna. So, all these compositions of Shankaracharya, they say, oh, these are all compositions of some sentimental devotees Our Acharya is not sentimental person. You are all ascribing these books, some commentary on Bhagavad Gita, some your sentimental devotee has written that commentary. Our Acharya does not even look at all these. He only is interested in Shruti. Only Shruti, no Smriti. Whereas the fact is, Shankaracharya has composed himself verses, thousands, tens of thousands of verses. He has composed. And these Mayavadis say, oh, we don't accept any composition by human being. Apaurusheya, Vedas are described as Apaurusheya. They are not composed or they are not created by some human being. So we accept only the Vedas, Apaurusheya. What about you? Shankaracharya has written so many verses, composed so many verses, so many glorification. Bhaja Govindam. Vasudeva Sutam Devam, Kamsachanura Mardanam. All that our Shankaracharya has not done. Your sentimental devotees have done. One fellow I asked, one scholar, so-called scholar, in Shankara philosophy. I said, what about this verses Shankaracharya has composed? Oh, Swamiji, our Shankaracharya has not composed. Somebody has composed. Some devotee has composed. Obviously, it is the devotee only who can compose that, no? Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachan. That's your philosophy. That's not our philosophy. He's telling me. So, the Mayavadis, like the atheists, like the materialists, they deride Krishna. They blaspheme Krishna. You have no eyes. You have no legs. So this is not prayer. This is not any glorification. This is insult. This is blasphemy. What Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Avajananti mam mudha manushim tanumashritam. So coming to this verse, why did I tell all this? Is that Devaki is in anxiety that this child, this Krishna who has appeared as my child, the Supreme Lord appeared as my child, may be killed by Kamsa as soon as Kamsa comes to know, like he has killed the other children, earlier children. And out of affection for him, which naturally any mother has, and as a devotee, her affection is for Krishna. Devotees have affection, but their affection is not for anything material. Pure devotees don't have any affection for any material thing. They have only affection for the transcendence. So the transcendental Lord has appeared as her son, and she is a pure devotee, so she has affection for Krishna, the Supreme Lord, transcendental Lord. So out of affection, she is feeling anxiety. She's feeling anxiety out of affection. It's not an expression of her foolishness or her ignorance, because she is addressing the Lord as Madhusudana. Madhusudana means the one who has killed the most powerful demon of his time called Madhu. How powerful was this Madhu compared to Kamsa? Kamsa is, insignificant in front of Madhu. Madhu stole away the Vedas from Brahma. Brahma is very, very powerful. Brahma is very powerful, very intelligent, very knowledgeable, empowered personality, personally empowered by Krishna for managing the affairs of this whole universe. That Brahma, Madhu became, this demon became more powerful than Brahma. Temporarily acquired some power more than Brahma's powers. And he challenged Brahma by stealing away the Vedas from him. And Brahma was helpless. So Brahma prayed to the Lord. Lord appeared as Hayagriva, killed this demon. Actually, Madhu and Kaitaba, two demons. Killed this Madhu Kaitaba, two demons, and restored the Vedas to Brahma. This is the pastime of the Lord as Hayagriva. Hayagriva incarnation. So, Madhu was a very, very powerful demon, but the Lord effortlessly, as always he does, killed this Madhu. So, killer of Madhu, what is Kamsa in front of Madhu? Insignificant. So, she is not having any doubt whether Krishna will be able to kill this Kamsa. No. Her anxiety is not because of Krishna's inability or Krishna's helplessness. No. It is because of her helplessness, not having been able to protect her earlier children against Kamsa's atrocities. There's a feeling a mother has. Feeling a mother has. And it is perfectly justified for a mother to be having that kind of anxiety. In spite of, the fact being that Krishna cannot be killed. She knows Krishna cannot be killed by Kamsa. And then her prayer is, look at her prayer. Please arrange, this is a typical prayer of a devotee. Why? I'll tell you. Arrange for that sinful Kamsa to be unable to understand that you have taken birth from my womb. She could have prayed, no, this nonsense Kamsa, kindly destroy him, kill him. No. She is not telling, please kill Kamsa. This is explained by Prabhupada in the case of Arjuna. Arjuna, when he saw the enemy party, the Duryodhana's party on the battlefield of Kurukshetra before the battle was about to begin, he felt compassion for them. He's feeling compassion for his enemy. Prabhupada says, that's not sentimental Arjuna. He's not a sentimental person like that, materially sentimental person. No. Feeling for his cousins or feeling for his relatives. No. He is a soft-hearted, kind devotee, pure devotee of the Lord. A pure devotee has behaves kindly towards everybody, including the so-called demons, including the so-called enemies. A devotee has no enmity against anybody. Why? Because the devotee sees everyone as part and parcel of Krishna. And that's a fact. Even demons are part and parcel of Krishna. So, Devaki, like Arjuna, is a pure devotee. Therefore, she is kind to everyone, including Kamsa, demon like Kamsa, who's already killed her children. Already killed her children. She has no reason to be kind to him, actually. There is no reason. But she cannot give up her devotional qualities. See, a materialist will behave differently with different people. However, fair or just a materialist may be. Whereas a spiritualist, behavior doesn't change with situation, circumstances, different people. No. A devotee is kind means he is kind to everybody. Krishna glorifies that in the 12th chapter. Adveshta sarva bhutanam maitra karuna evacha. These are the qualities of the devotee which he will always display, always have. He'll never have hatred towards anybody. He cannot have hatred towards anybody, including the demons and the miscreants and all kinds of cruel people. He has never got. So try to understand this point very carefully, clearly. As Prabhupada says, she thought of the Lord with affection and therefore she requested the transcendental child to disappear. The child can actually disappear. So Kamsa will never know. And exactly as she wanted, Krishna did that very thing. He wants to just please his devotee. So he arranged, okay, Kamsa will not ever know, exactly as she is telling. You see, what is she telling? Please arrange that sinful Kamsa to be unable to understand that you have taken birth from my womb. So you know the story, that what happened. He arranged that he be transferred to house of Nanda Maharaj. And Kamsa did not know at all that a child is born and child was transferred. I did not know. I was fully asleep in ignorance. So these are the transcendental pastimes of the Lord with his devotees. Nantarat Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki.